Oh wow, hey guys, did you know that a leftist professor said something really stupid? Potentially. I don't know. I don't really believe headlines, especially when it comes to this war, all that much anymore. So maybe Cornell University professor calls Hamas terror attacks exhilarating and exciting. Okay, we could take it at face value, but again, it's another day that ends in Y. The sun rose in the east and sets in the west, and yeah, professors are brain dead on most college campuses. Or is this something that's been taken out of context? But regardless, he still has a right to say it, guys. Like, you might think that he's a total asshole and you don't have to go to his courses. You don't have to go to his university where he's employed, and you can go ahead and voice your displeasure with him at your own leisure. But by simply turning a blind eye to these institutions, we can go ahead and, blame generations in the past if you want to go ahead and have, original sin applied to all of this stuff. You can blame the baby boomers that just gave up on all of the creative and educational endeavors from way back in the day. Or you can just leave these institutions to rot and create a parallel education economy if you're so inclined. But let's see what this goofball had to say. Cornell University professor is caught on camera telling students Hamas terror attacks on Israel, which has left more than 1,400 dead. What about the Palestinians, though? Oh, okay, right. Was exhilarating and energizing. Their remarks were made at a pro-Palestine protest. It's so funny. They want to go ahead and poison the well to begin with by saying that, oh, take a look at this guy. He's reveling in all of those terror attacks, and now you want to call it a pro-Palestine protest. I see. By Russell Rickford, an associate professor at the history at the top tier Ithaca New York School, and posted online Sunday by a student that called them shameful. Oh, now we're starting to believe college students that go to Cornell. Oh, okay. I love when our principles are applied. The footage of Rickford's impassioned speech was also shared by by two other tipsters. They declined to say when and where exactly the rally took place. So yeah, we got this inflammatory content. Nobody wanted to go ahead and put a time or date to it. Weird. The professor said the coordinated October 7th attack in which militants broke through concrete walls and paraglided into Israel, but Palestine's not an apartheid state. Don't worry about it. It's just a nice place where we have very strong borders that don't look like camps at all. To indiscriminately murder civilians. Shifted indiscriminately. I thought they were coordinated attacks. What are we doing here? Shifted the balance of politics and punctured the illusion of invincibility of Israel, which has imposed a blockade on Gaza Strip since terrorist group Hamas seized power there in 2007. That's what they've done. You don't have to be a Hamas supporter to recognize it, he said. Well, okay, so he's not incorrect so far. Rickford then claimed many Palestinians who were born into violence and oppression were able to breathe for the first time in years in the hours after the brutal massacre. Well, for the few hours prior to when the bombs started flying, which were definitely not indiscriminate killing. Nope, not at all whatsoever. They were justified because, God damn it, we need to go ahead and punish those brown people for what other brown people did. It was exhilarating. It was energizing. And if they weren't exhilarated by the challenge to the monopoly of violence, the shifting of the violence of power, then they would not be human. I was exhilarated. Okay, cool. So when played in full context, he was talking about kids having the sense of impending doom lifted for a second, and he found that to be exhilarating. A little bit different than saying, he was super happy about terror attacks happening. Again, you can disagree with the sentiments. I think it was poorly worded, and, you can definitely just kind of cock your head to the side and go, yeah, it kind of looks like you're glorifying terrorism. Yeah, you can kind of read into that. But then at the same time, kind of has a right to say it. Okay, like it or not, man, it's Cornell. It's a university campus. That type of speech is more or less going to be amenable, unless, of course, there's a big Jewish population among the students, and then they'll just go and cry, and then the trad cuck simps that'll be out there just going, oh, kids have a right to feel safe, but then at the same time, they were mocking the Yale students that were just crying and complaining about feeling unsafe about Halloween costumes. The exact same shit that's going on right now. These fucking idiots that just have absolutely zero consistent principles. Speaking of which, we have a couple of people that, you know what, if they just both got into the ring and started fighting each other, if they both ended up if the fight ended in a double KO, I think that the world would be a better place. We got Megyn Kelly doubles down on spat with Candace Owens. I don't like either of these chicks. I think that they're both insufferable. And once again, proof that we shouldn't just repeal the 19th, but also take away microphones from women. I'm joking, sort of. For defending Ivy League student who face being blacklisted from jobs over their support for Hamas. If you want to hire these terror sympathizers, go for it. This is just like Megyn Kelly is a complete and total sped. She was terrible, absolutely terrible when it came to the Russell Brand stuff. You remember, maybe this one time, guys, these false accusations are going to prove to be true. And then within just a couple of hours, she decided to go whole hog on, oh yeah, all of this stuff is just total cap, guys, because she ended up getting a little bit of pushback on her terrible decision. So here's what she is right now, just saying, oh yeah, some kids that are expressing their free speech, yeah, they should totally be blacklisted from society. What the fuck are you doing, you absolute mongoloid? I don't like that speech, but I'm totally pro free speech. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You don't understand. So yeah, guess what? God, this is just a very strange time where I'm supporting people that I don't even like that much. Candace Owens is a total fucking scrub, man. What she did to Steven Crowder is totally and utterly detestable. Decided to just randomly pick this guy's fucking pockets and blast his divorce proceedings to the world. Okay, mischaracterized everything that's going on right now. Okay, she's probably, okay, speaking of another group of people that I don't like all that much, the Daily Wire crew, the terrible, awful warmongers. But at least Candace Owens did side with Ye for a little while. Okay, did go over and have a conversation with Andrew Tate. Like, there's a couple of things that I do appreciate her for, but in the grand scheme of things, she's just as insufferable as the rest of that crew. So yes, birds of a feather do in fact flock together. And speaking of hens, firebrand Megyn Kelly has doubled down on her attack of Candace Owens' defense of Harvard students who signed a letter blaming Israel for their barbaric Hamas attacks. Oh, must have heard about that mosque storming that happened on October 5th. Nobody mentions that. Over the weekend, the pair sparred about whether or not it is appropriate to blacklist the student signees from jobs because of their vehemently anti-Israel activism. Yeah, it's a position that people have. Okay, guess what? There's a lot of positions that you might find detestable, but if it doesn't affect their ability to do their job, why are you blacklisting them? I legitimately don't get it. It's almost like you take a look at polls that are out there, and outside of the old boomers or the 65 plus crew, nobody really has an opinion one way or another. They just think that it's not really our concern when it comes to Israel. It's like your demographic, Megyn Kelly, is fucking shrinking. The Israel simps, they're actually dying off. And I might see it in my lifetime, potentially, depending on how much aid is going to be distributed amongst the Middle East right now. We might get to a point in time where Israel is cut off from the United States and they're going to have to fend for themselves. They're pretty well networked and well entrenched. I don't think that that'll necessarily happen, but it's close. It could happen in our lifetimes. Owens argued that students may change their position and with time and education, while Kelly argued that regular good people do not back terrorist organizations. See, one comes from a rather principled opinion, okay? Like, there's a lot of people that are out there that are inundated with all of the propaganda surrounding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict right now, and once they're confronted with the truth, then they'll change their opinion on it. And it's like, wow, there's like a lot of bloodshed going on right there. I was just under the impression that it was only happening on the Israeli side, but wow, it's actually happening over on the Gazan side as well. Yeah, we should probably stop that. Like, there's a lot of people, if they just simply listen to mass media or just passively consume what's going on in the Middle East, they're totally going to be taken by surprise when it comes to this new information. So yes, Candace is 1000% correct by, yes, people changing their position with time and education. There's a list of different topics that I have just over the course of running this channel. I've changed my position, maneuvered it a little bit, not necessarily done a 180 on anything specifically, but thanks to my principles and my values, I can go ahead and perceive a situation and interpret it differently. Like, that happens to a lot of people, man. And for Megyn Kelly to just go simply, good people don't support terrorist organizations, then why are you simping for Israel so hard? Owens, in turn, called Kelly's position disingenuous, and Kelly encouraged the Daily Wire host to hire some of the pro-Palestinian protesters. Well, she's not hiring, but okay, thanks for the recommendation. Like, I don't know. They're from Harvard, okay, depending on the degrees that they have, probably a good network to tap into, just saying. On Monday, the host of the Megyn Kelly show slammed Owens against for wading into the debate. I'd imagine that's supposed to be again. Candace Owens felt the need to weigh in, and I think it's wonderful that she's willing to take the pro-Palestinian students on. I really do. I look forward to the Candace Owens internship program over at the Daily Wire, and I found a bunch of students that she could, oh my god, what a fucking bitch. She explained on her initial position, or I'm sorry, expanded on her initial position that the students in their early 20s should not have been should not have to be taught the difference between right and terrorism. Exactly. You should just educate yourself. Isn't that normally something that you would just mock? But no. Israel, guys. Israel first. When you're 17 years old, you don't have a fully formed views of the world. But when you are saying your young 20s and you're out there on these college campuses, you know that murder is wrong. Exactly. What's your position on abortion, Megyn Kelly? Just wondering. You've learned then it's not only to kill babies, little civilians who are asleep in their beds. Any proof of that? No? Okay, cool. We're just all dealing with emotions right now. I'm 100% pro Blacklist. It's not cancel culture. It's exactly cancel culture, you fucking retard. Canceling somebody for their opinions, not for their actions at all, not for their unverified actions, which again, you are very much pro cancel culture, and I can't believe Candace Owens is the fucking voice of reason in this room. I don't associate with terrorists. I don't hire their sympathizers. If we could just go ahead and take a look at the people that you employ, I'd imagine we're probably going to find a pretty consistent theme as to the last name. Some of your producers, just saying, are the people that employ you. I do not recommend you do it either. Kelly then went after Harvard for its response to the students protesters who failed to condemn Hamas. Yeah, there was some chick, Claudine Gay. I did a video on her as well. But yeah, man, free speech, even at the time of heightened emotions, and imagine that, we got a woman with a bad take when it comes to emotions being involved. Color me surprised. But no, it's not anti-Israel. It's not being anti-Semitic. It's not being anti-Jew by simply thinking that Palestine should exist. Free Palestine is as legitimate as a position as being pro-Israeli. I don't know how else to put it, but the conflation in the media, which is a lot of people are more than willing to wade into this as well, very stupidly, if I may say so myself, in order to just label the critics on the other side as being terrorist sympathizers. You're playing into the other cultural rather societal shift as well. What was it? Sonny Hostin from The View, who was out there saying that the Proud Boys are just like Hamas and the fact that they're both terrorists. What you're doing is you're trying to label people. You're trying to label the opposition terrorists in order for them to be treated as the outgroup, as the others. You don't want to go down that path, and you're more than willing to do so because you're trying to stand with our greatest ally. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Coswell, and I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.